That was cool.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's going on? Your friend Martin here. Just got back last night from 1917 with my best friend Rufio XC. We're going to do a little bit of a review type thing. We're at his house at the moment, that's why the setup's a little bit different to what you're usually used to with the movie reviews. But anyways, let's dive right into what we thought about the movie. This is my good friend Topola.
Hey guys.
Or Rufio XC. Subscribe to his channel, he's got some good stuff on there. But let's dive into it. So what do you think about the movie?
I think the movie was really interesting in that it was a one take kind of feel to the movie.
Yeah.
I think that it provided like a really weird... It was able to draw a lot of suspense because of the long shots. And they really used distance, I think, like that. They really utilized the distance in the...
Yeah, 100%.
In the movie itself. Like, I don't know how they did some of those shots, but yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, 1917 was directed by Shawn Mendes, and the whole movie has been made to look like it's one continuous take, which at first I thought was a bit gimmicky, but as the movie went on it got heaps better, and it kind of in a way made the movie feel exhausting in the way that you were with these two characters throughout the whole movie. And the action and suspense, even though it's very few and far between, when it does happen you feel like you're right in the action with the two characters, which I really loved about the movie. And the performances were really fantastic. The soundtrack as well, you'll agree?
Yeah, I actually thought that it was. I thought it was like a Hans Zimmer kind of like.
Yeah.
I got the feels, but at the same time, they utilized what was it, dead sound.
Yeah. 100%.
Like they withdrew the sound from it completely to like increase the amount of suspense in the actual shots.
Yeah.
And that to me was just like I don't know. There's no real films that come to my mind that uses dead sound as well as that did there. So like the sound was perfect for me.
100%. The production design as well. Everything felt like the First World War.
Yeah.
Like, from the costumes to like the trenches and everything. The prosthetics and the makeup for like wounded soldiers and stuff was like top-notch stuff. The sound design as well, as we mentioned kind of before with the score. Like you get this eerie sense of like this almost post-apocalyptic war-torn countryside, and these two characters have just got to try and push through it all to get the job done.
Yeah.
So I just looked it up. So Dean Charles Chapman and George McKay, the two leads, fantastic, really good performances. They just feel like, you know, these poor guys who've just been thrown into this mess of a war, which was, you know, the case back then. And yeah, Sam Mendes, I said it was directed by Shawn Mendes.
Is that the insert asterisk here?
Sam Mendes, the director, he did like Skyfall and stuff. He's a really good director. I really dig a lot of his films. And the cinema, as I said before, I think the only way you could have told this story is through that one take. And if you watch a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, it's really interesting to see how they've dressed up crew even as soldiers to like hold the camera and stuff as they're like charging on like the battlefields and stuff like that.
To make it more authentic.
Yeah, so it wasn't like, you know, in the case that if they had to drop a camera to another crew member, they could, the other crews who were dressed as soldiers could just run forward into the shot and it wouldn't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like there's a very clever way to go about it.
I think that they, for a movie that setting, like World War One hasn't been covered very much.
Yeah.
In cinema.
It's a lot more. World War Two is a lot more
present.
Yeah.
World War Two
media.
Yeah, it's a lot more present and it's referenced a lot more even in like modern day movies. Whereas World War One really hasn't been
showcased too much. Like there's been very few movies. Like War Horse comes to mind when I think of World War One, which is a good movie. I really love it. Steven Spielberg did that, but it didn't capture quite the same suspense and, you know, disbelief of what these guys really went through and all the shit that they had to go through.
Yeah, I think also something that I really respected about the film was that it wasn't an action film.
Yeah.
And that was something that I think that a lot of World War II movies turned into, being like these films which were like showcase like action and like war.
100%.
Whereas like this movie kind of showcased more of like the daily life of like a kind of soldier.
Yeah.
And that they're not on the front line all the time. That they were kind of like,
they're not like a big action hero type.
Yeah.
And that was one of the strong points. I don't want to get into spoilers or anything, but the movie doesn't glorify war. Like, as I said to Topola last night after we watched the movie, everyone's their own main character in their life. Everyone's got goals and stuff, but in war, that doesn't matter. Like, you know, the stakes are high. People get killed. So, but that was all I will say. But yeah, it doesn't glorify it, doesn't like turn it into like some big action hero set piece type thing. It just is very real and grounded.
Yeah.
And these are just, you know, guys, and even in like the background stuff when they're just like having a smoke or, you know, talking shit, like, and even the way they talk, like they're constantly joking around trying to lighten the mood and stuff, even in like the darkest of time, and it really like brings out humanity in a lot of the characters, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they really treated that they treated really like respectfully. They
Yeah.
treated the war, the Great War, the First World War, very respectively in that kind of like sense. And it was like it was a different. It was very immersive because you have the single shot style, so you've got that. You feel like you're a part of the character. I was scared that we're going to feel like we were watching someone playing a video game.
Yeah.
And then we've got the dialogue, which was really accurate. You know, you see some movies and like people are just like, it's like almost over the top when it's like,
where it didn't seem fake. It
felt like a
staged.
conversation.
Yeah.
It felt like a genuine conversation that people would be
100%.
having. The landscapes and things like that they've built for this movie was just like, holy moly. Like, yeah.
It's crazy to think how much time and effort would have had to have gone into this, because they filmed it all. Most of it was outside.
Yeah.
So the lighting especially would have been a pain. But yeah, what about, did you have any negatives with the movie?
Then I think the only negatives were, and it also is, it's a negative and a positive, is that because it's one shot and because it's like a kind of like a journey, a day in the life kind of journey, I guess you'd call it. There were times where it felt like we're watching somebody walking, like it was drawn out. But at the same time, it's like something that you can appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can appreciate it. Certain people appreciate that you feel like you're going on a journey. Like it's where a normal movie would cut certain bits out. They were really smart. And this goes back to the distancing thing that I was talking about earlier. Spoiler alert, maybe? So there is a scene. It's kind of a spoiler alert. I'm not going to let go of like anything that happens in the scene except for they arrive at this small house and then they go on a convoy with a different platoon, and then between them joining that platoon, somehow in between travel around 20 kilometers, I think it was, from this house to another village, another area. And they do that within a space of 5 minutes. So they're really smart on the way that they paced the distancing, but made it feel a lot shorter than it was, I guess. And then I was joking before because I was like, maybe because in Europe, like, you can drive like 50 kilometers and you're in a different country. But
yeah, legit. Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on that one. Like, while it did feel drawn out, I think it was kind of necessary. I think that was the effect they were going for, to feel like you wanted to feel like exhausted with them. Yeah. In that sense, I think this movie will definitely get a few Oscar nominations. I think cinematography, obviously. Yeah. Just because of the whole one take thing. Soundtrack was, I think, possibly.
Maybe. In saying that, there was nothing there was no memorable theme. Yeah. But they did some really interesting and smart stuff, and he also did the score for, you were saying James Bond earlier?
Yeah, he did Skyfall as well.
Yeah, which was great. Like that was
100%. Production design, I think, and it would definitely, I think, we'll get nods for sound as well.
Yes. Sound design, the scale, also like what's cinematography, yeah.
Costume, maybe. I don't know. But cinematography and sound, I think it's definitely up there for, and production design as well. It won Best Picture at Golden Globes.
Did it?
Yeah. So I think it will probably get nominated. I don't know if it will win though, but I would be happy if it did win, because I really loved this movie. I really dug it.
Oh yeah, the actual casting in this movie is like loaded with everyone you know.
Legit.
Like if there was an award for most like famous casting, I don't know.
Mind you, all these big actors are in it for like the course of 30 seconds to 2 minutes at most. But like when they pop up, you're like, oh, I know you from that one, or yeah, you're in that movie. But yeah, I think that's about it. Get on to the score. Out of 5, what would you give it? I'm
still not sure what I'll give it out of 5 because it's a World War I film. I feel like, and they treat it so respectively. I feel like I'm kind of like obliged to give them like a high score. Yeah. At the same time, I'm not sure if it was a different film in a different war, maybe would I still get the same score? So yeah, it's like a really really weird one, and I guess my I'm gonna give it a 3.5. 3.5. 3.5. I'm gonna give it out of 10. That's a 7, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So it's like,
we'll do yours out of 7. I'll do mine, because I do mine out of 5. So you do yours out of 7.
I'm gonna go 7
out of 10.
I think it's 7 out of 10. Like for me, it's 7 out of 10 because there were moments in there where I was genuinely like, wow, like they really went in really hard with this movie, and they've treated it so respectively. And there were times where I'm just like, this is some of it's unnecessary, and that's my personal 7. 7 is pretty.
Yeah, with me, I think I'm on the same page. I think I liked it more than Topola here, so 4 out of 5 it is. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, but and I think that was inevitable with the whole one take thing. You're gonna get moments that dragged out, and some of them just dragged out a little bit too much for me. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy these reviews and if you want to see more collabs between myself and Rufio, let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe to Rufio's channel, leave a link in the description below. Follow us on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and till next time.
Bye.
See ya.
We'll never know what could have been. I want another chance to prove that I could be the one.